Joan. I'm the Senior Tech Apprenticeship Officer here at FIT. FIT is Fast Track into Information Technology, and I'm delighted to be your host today for this session. So, just a bit about FIT for those of you who may not know, we work with SMEs, multinational corporations, and the public sector, working with currently over 300 employers nationwide, helping them to build future proof their teams and build tech talent pipeline effectively. Today, we are delighted to welcome Dorena Doyle, Program Manager at Google, who will be sharing how AI is reshaping software development teams and why investing in emerging tech talent remains essential. Dorena, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, thanks for having me, Jessica.
Dorena, I suppose to kick it off, I'm just from Google's perspective, what are the biggest software talent challenges in the organization, in organizations, I suppose, that we'll face over the next 3 to 5 years, and how is Google preparing for them?
Like most companies, having to look into the future is less about prompt engineering and more about sort of agent development, agent check and agent, tool connectivity, making sure that the agents that we're building are fit for purpose, good quality, good safety environment, and future proofing. It's not forcing us, but encouraging us to move more towards the skill-based hiring environment where real-time training is involved through the younger or the newer workforce and stuff like that. One thing my manager says to us all the time is that AI isn't coming for your job, but the engineer who can control, design, execute effectively through AI definitely will be coming for your job. And that's a skill set that's going to need to be honed from day one.
Okay, so really what you're saying is that it is about that preparing to have people in place that have the skills and that real-time training, because things are moving, developing and changing all the time, particularly with AI, that it's important to keep up to date with what's going on in order to be ready for
Yeah.
the next few years. And I suppose, how has AI changed the way Google thinks about building software teams, and what does that mean for the need for emerging software developers?
Yeah, there's definitely a shift in team organization. So it's less about nuanced and niche programming, a bunch of developers that are working in one space, one coding language, etc. It's more about cross-functional groups, and the teams are definitely smaller as well. There's a compression of roles between developer, tester, DevOps, and stuff like that, where it's more of an all-rounder skill set that an engineer needs to have, rather than, again, like I said, just a single experience in a single environment. We've definitely seen some changes across our teams in that environment where just the general makeup of the team is changing.
Okay. So again, it's really about that continuous learning piece, really, and that adaptability to learn new skills and have that crossover between. And we would see that quite a lot with employers that we speak to at the moment, that there is that need for that. I suppose expanding your knowledge set continually to be able
Yeah, and this is
to
something that
yeah.
the junior developers are bringing into the workforce as well. So they're getting on the ground floor with AI development. And it's not just about prompting AI to get the response that you want, but developing the AI to deliver this response that you need, right? And this is something that junior developers are way more open to doing than some of the maybe more senior or tenured developers having to learn a brand new skill set. So, and this is definitely a plus in the column for the new developers coming on board.
Brilliant. And I suppose, why did Google decide to hire software development apprentices, and how does it compare to your more traditional pathways for early careers?
Yeah, like I said, it's the developers that are bringing a lot of the new technology with them. So they're by tapping into sort of the apprentice workforce, it's the non-traditional talent pool. There's a higher potential for diverse thinking. They are generally, apprentices generally tend to be career switchers. So with that, they bring a certain level of maturity, very strong soft skills that you're generally not getting from college graduates. They're usually able to provide almost immediate value to projects because they have a certain level of, I don't know, grow for what it is that they're doing. And they really want they're self-driven, they're self sort of guided. They've got themselves this far without whatever traditional training they've had through college or whatever. So they're able to jump in straight away. And like I said, the maturity from career switching is a huge bonus.
Yeah, yeah. And I suppose that's something that comes up quite a lot in terms of, when companies come to FIT and are looking at tech apprenticeships, that is something, will they add value straight away, particularly in the times we're in now. You really need that, that you need that you need them to add value straight away. We do find that the majority of the apprentices coming through the pool are very driven. They really want that experience way of learning, that earn as you learn working model, where they can jump in and learn through doing, really. And like that's another thing actually that a lot of employers look for, again, is the soft skills, which I don't particularly like calling them soft skills. I think that they're very, very strong skills, but those communication pieces. So it's really good that that's your experience, I suppose, with that. And I suppose my next question is really about some of the skills and qualities that the tech apprenticeships have brought. So I don't know, maybe you have some examples of some skills or qualities that you've noticed over the last while.
Yeah, for sure. The standout ones to me from the apprentices that I've engaged with over the last 3-ish years in Google is adaptability and resilience. They are very quick to adapt. It's such a fast-paced environment. They go from classroom training, self-guided training, to being thrown into an engineering team, an established engineering team that has all its processes. And they're a little bit lost at sea, but they adapt very quickly. They get stuck in really well. They're very resilient to any changes that are happening. It's in Google anyway, a lot of changes happen all the time, and it can be difficult to tread water or whatever. So you need to be resilient. You need to be able to bounce. You need to be able to context switch. And like I mentioned earlier, you're no longer focused on a single language. You're going to be jumping in and out of different programs, different apps, different tools or whatever. So you're going to be able to switch those. And the apprentices that show that ability to adapt are the ones that really, really succeed. The acquisition of really practical skills in the work environment as well, because again, they go from the FIT training classroom to a fully functional office campus, right? And they need to go to meetings, they need to do presentations, they need to be able to talk through problem solving with colleagues, etc. So that kind of environment can be a little overwhelming, for sure. It's overwhelming for everybody that walks in the door, but at the apprentices who just jump in are the ones that really, really shine. And we do get a lot of really good feedback from the ones that just literally just throw caution to the wind and stuff. What's that phrase we have at work is ask for forgiveness instead of permission. And that really comes true when you're just trying new things, when you're problem solving. So you really just try everything. And you can really see the apprentices that we have, they're really hungry for that. They have really good energy for it. And I think I said it before, there's a real graw for what it is they're doing. They're the guys who are, working on their own projects this whole time. And now they're in this environment and that energy doesn't diminish. It's really, really great to see. And they're the ones that definitely shine, for sure.
Yeah. And I suppose even that, like when you were saying about the adaptability and that resilience, and that again, they're so strong, strong attributes for people to have. And it's great to see that they're in the tech apprenticeship with tech apprentices that you've hired. And you mentioned from the classroom to straight into the teams within Google. And I suppose even for anyone who's listening, with the tech apprenticeship program, the 2-year program, so there's 30% of the time over the 2 years they're in education, and 70% of the time they're with the hiring company as such. So and I suppose that coming from the classroom into the teams, it's great to see that there is that adaptability, there is that resilience. But I think a few of the things that you mentioned in terms of having their own projects and asking for forgiveness rather than permission. So having that huge opportunity to, I suppose, to really try and really hone in on their own skills and be able to shine is an incredible experience for them to have on an apprenticeship. And I suppose hats off to Google to allow them to have that kind of those opportunities and get them involved and allow them to look at their practical skills, their presentation, get involved in meetings. And have all those.
it's more than just the engagement with the team as well. It's campus culture, right? It's jumping into the whole environment, doing the social stuff, and really tapping into the whole culture that's available there. I think that's a really good benefit, for networking, which is a huge skill to build and something that's really important in this environment. But doing it through casual campus events that's happening is a really good way to start, honing that skill. And that's something that you can bring with you. It's transferable for the rest of your life, basically. So it's not just about learning how to code or learning how to go to a meeting and learning how to present. It's everything that's available on campus there is something that we highly encourage the apprentices to get involved with.
That's fantastic. So they get a full rounded experience,
Exactly,
and have that engagement with people, and have work and also have some fun and network. And
yeah.
it sounds incredible. If I had the skills, Serena, I'd be signing up. And I suppose, would you recommend tech apprentices as a way for employers to grow software capability in-house? And if so, what advice would you give to organizations considering it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've had really good experiences with our apprentices. We've been running the program since 2019, I think, 2018
Yeah.
maybe. And there's just been fantastic talent coming through. We get a huge amount of applications, a huge amount of engagement. The apprentices really bring, like, what's the word? They bring a fresh energy and a fresh perspective to some of the teams that are quite tenured. We get more and more teams requesting apprentices every year with new projects that they want to work on with them and stuff like that. So it's not just about what can we offer the apprentices, but what the apprentices can offer the engineers that we currently have. They're bringing with them, like the apprentices are bringing with them this new look at AI and how it can be used, and they're bringing that to teams that maybe haven't thought about it in that way as well. So it's really tapping into this whole other talent pool that we haven't experienced before. In
Yeah.
terms of what companies need to do or need to focus on, mentoring is very, very important. Making sure that the apprentices have a go-to person, a one-to-one person that they can engage with in a trusting environment, safe space, that they can say, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that. And what we have is each of our apprentices have a single mentor, but there's a pool of mentors available. And then they're obviously engaged in their teams, and their teams have their own support structure individually tailored to whatever it is they're working on as well. And then I'm available, obviously, as a core PGM for the program. And we do sort of meet up and engage and have the chats and make sure everybody's kind of ticking along as needed or needs support in whatever way. But the one-to-one mentoring is key to make sure that they have that space that they can tap into.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. So, and I suppose to go back to your fresh energy and perspectives, I think that's fantastic. That's something we hear quite a lot. It's really, and it's lovely to see that people that have been in situ for quite a while, in particular companies like in Google, having that new fresh talent, fresh ideas, energy and perspectives, and that can all kind of cross collaborate and is really, and energize the teams is fantastic. I should mention actually that with the tech apprenticeships, they're 18 upwards. So we do have a huge candidate pool with such a variety of candidates, from the just out of school to completing a PLC course to, maybe have had experience in software development and have come back into the workforce, so we would be very much supporters of women in technology, people in neurodiversity as well, to support people really who have a curiosity and passion for technology, and Google have been amazing, in supporting that, and it's great to see that there's value being added to Google and and the fact that you have teams that are requesting apprentices, is fantastic. I do agree with you on the mentoring. I think the more that one-to-one mentoring or within organizations is very important, because not only does it offer support to the apprentice, it also adds more value, I suppose, in terms of an employer. So being able to being supportive, it gives the apprentice that extra I suppose encouragement to move forward. So it's a fantastic job, and it's been a pleasure working with you guys over the past few years, and long may it continue. So Darina, unless you've anything else to maybe add, I would be sorry. There's just a question that has just come in. If you're happy enough, I can ask. Is there a misconception that software developers are going to disappear because of AI? Is there a dip in the amount of people wanting to become software developers?
I don't know if this is a full-on misconception. It's probably a natural, organic change as life moves on, like any other industry that gets affected by progress. Like I said at the start, though, AI isn't coming for your job, but the engineer who can control, design, and effectively work through AI is going to come for your job. So it's not about less software developers. It's about less people who are nuanced in a single language, and people are going to be more broader skill sets. Engineers are going to still be coming out of college with whatever they're coming out with, but they're going to need to expand that skill set way more effectively. I don't see a reduction in people wanting to be developers based on the touch points I have of people applying for apprenticeship roles. As increases every year. There's no reduction in how many applications we get. So there's definitely a need, or there's definitely a group of people wanting to be developers. I think people just need to understand that the role is shifting. The role is changing. It's not just about learning C# anymore. You need to learn way more than that. You need to learn agent control. You need to learn agent testing and auditing and stuff like that. So it's just that the job is shifting. It's not going away.
So software developers are still required. It's just at their skill set, they need to have more skill sets to be able to, I suppose, be employable in this era of AI, I suppose. And just to mention also that AI is across all of our programs, all of the tech apprenticeship programs also. Yeah, that was a great answer. Thanks, Darina, for that. I hope that cleared up for some people.
Just to add, like, this has always been happening. When I came out of college, software engineering, I was doing Unix and COBOL, right, the machine code, and they're not used anymore. So you're always going to need to develop new skills as a software developer anyway. This isn't new. This is just the next new thing.
Yes, I suppose, and that's a really good point. I think that is that continuous learning is going to be, that's central to what we're doing. Absolutely. I wonder if I don't think there's any more questions. So, Darina, thank you so much for taking your time out. I know you are extremely busy, and Darina is even on call today, so I know that she's incredibly busy. So, thank you for taking time out of your busy day today, and thank you to everyone watching today. For any employers that are interested in learning more about the tech apprenticeships this year, reach out to us today. You can find links to book a discovery call and to our employer brochures and our LinkedIn page in the comments section. Just for our next LinkedIn live session will be taking place on Wednesday, the 13th of May from 3 p.m. We will be chatting with Joseph Holland. He's the director of Aon and a previous tech apprentice. So we're very excited about that. It's sure to be a great session, and we hope to see you all there. Darina, thanks a million for today, and have a lovely afternoon.
You too.